So could you tell me who's playing on the track?
Yeah, so the team, I mean, we've got TJ Amas is playing drums. Known TJ for ages, so cool, he's such a great guy. We've got Aidan Spiller playing bass. Another great guy, all my team, they're great guys, all of them. We've got Aidan playing bass. We've got superstar 16-year-old wonder kid, Zach Davis, playing lead guitar. He's got his own band, they're just starting out at the moment, they're called Zach and the New Men, you want to check them out, he's amazing. So very privileged, I feel, to have Zach on the track. Poet, didn't know it. And we've got superstar featuring artist Dalley, and then somebody was just singing as well. I can't remember. Yeah, and me. I'm singing and playing guitar as well.
So Dani, how did you end up on the track?
So Gareth and I, we used to attend the same church, and we were in the same worship team. And I remember when you came to me and a few other musicians, and you were just saying that, you know, God's put a few songs on your heart, and you wanted to just see, you know, just run with it. And I remember you sitting down with your acoustic guitar and just playing a song, and I just thought, man, this is so beautiful. So it's been amazing to see this track come alive really through this project, and it's just been a massive blessing to be a part of it.
So Gar, how did the song come about?
So, yeah, I mean, Danny's alluded to it there. I mean, 2018-19 was when I think there were this kind of series of songs which would just continuously come in. We were going to musicians on a Monday night. We were turning up sessions, great sessions, worship sessions, presence of God there was just
so
fantastic. Good. And each week I was just turning up, having sort of been playing during the week, and there were just new song after new song after new song coming. So I was turning up, and some of the guys, they were just kind of, you know, look at me, you've got another one, haven't you? And it's just like, yeah, you know. And I'd always tinkered with songwriting in the past, but it would just seem that this season was just, there were songs coming, you know. And so I just felt that God was pressing me to come on, you know, time's ticking, let's get you going, you know, let's get going, you know, let's finally do what I've intended you to do, if you like. And it was quite frustrating because we went through all these series of kind of recording sessions, and we turn up here, we record, you know, there's a lot of effort that goes in, isn't there, you know? And then for whatever reason, you know, we kind of arrived at a point where I thought it was ready, and then key components, key people either couldn't make certain things happen, or we just didn't have, it was almost like missing ingredient stuff. And God's timing is not our timing, is it, you know?
So true.
And we just arrived at a point where I just felt anyway that it was like, okay, well, you know, this is over to you now, God. If you want it to happen, then there are certain things that are going to happen. And it just seemed to settle. And then more recently, of course, everything in the world seems impossible. And yet God just kind of went, no. And at that point it was like, now. But that's what happened. I mean, I think Zach was probably one of the key ingredients. He's 2 years older, he's matured. His project in first lockdown was, I'm going to learn how to use Logic Pro X, which is like professional music software. I've looked at it and gone, yeah, no thanks. And he's mastered it. He's incredible. So I said to him, look, we did this a couple of years ago. Fancy seeing if you can make it happen. He was like, yeah, you know, Zach, yeah, cool. Yeah. He's just brought this to where it is now. It's sort of in terms of, you know, music technology and software, and it's incredible what he's done. So we're very, very privileged to have arrived at the point where we've arrived at. Yeah. That's how it came about.
So Dani,
Yes.
how do you feel about the song and its lyrics?
Well, I don't know about you, Gareth, but I feel like this song tells of the greatest love story of all time. In that, so the verses, you're telling a story of what life used to be like before Christ, in all of its rules and restrictions, because we had to uphold the law. And then through the pre-chorus and the chorus, you know, there's this build-up of God's unfathomable love in what he had done, you know, sending his only son to reconcile us back to him. So this song, it just reminds me, one, of the goodness of God, and two, just his love and desire for us to, you know, be close to him, to have that personal relationship. And I feel like this song just shifts the focus and the narrative back to Jesus, where it always ought to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
What is the veil?
Yeah, the veil, of course, and you know, it's to Christians, I guess, it's something that there's understanding of, and perhaps people who work in historians, you know, people who've done research in this area would go, yeah, okay, well, we completely understand this, but it's one of these things where so the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 80s watching movies through that period of time, and to me, it's like the best era ever. You know, some of the most amazing movies there. So, like something like Raiders of the Lost Ark, for example. You know, there's a scene in there where you've got faces melted. They've taken the lid off the Ark of the Covenant. You know, tablets of stone that were given to Moses are inside this. It's been God's presence, and I think it was the Nazis, wasn't it? Germans have found it in the story that they've got there, and albeit, you know, a bit of artistic license, they take the lid off, and God's presence, you know, is just too much for man to handle. So, the Ark of the Covenant sat in the temple, and you had this huge fabric, this textile, which was a curtain, which guarded a man from God's presence. Prior to Jesus, this was required, you know. This is why he's so significant. It changes everything. This curtain was something that was so heavy that it's reported that it took 300 priests to carry it. It was 60 foot high, 30 foot wide, and as thick as a man's hand. You know, it talks about, I think in some text, like 4 inches thick. And of course, upon Jesus' death, the Bible talks about him giving up his final breath, and the curtain was torn in two from the top down. So almost as if, well, as we would believe, only God could have torn it. And the symbolism that just goes with that. The first lyric that I had for this song was just, the curtain was torn in two, for me, for you. And I just kept singing that lyric over and over, and that's where the song came from, really. You know, that one lyric, which just then developed into the song that it is today. But yeah, the veil is a curtain, but not a flimsy little something, you know, but rather this massive fabric that God just went, you know what, now. Let's just...
So good.
So, both of you, are you going to do anything like this again?
Definitely.
On that note, I mean, we are not just we're not a band. We're people who got together through links with the church. The musicians team is much wider than just the people who are on this track.
Absolutely.
And you know, I see it as something that maybe we do. Yeah, I'd love to do another track with Dani. Great. But maybe, you know, maybe the team is different. Maybe, or who knows? Yeah, I mean, I'm open to whatever, really. Whatever God wants to do, right?
Absolutely.